Welcome to our second objective presented by Isabella, Julia, Angelo, Matthew, Bashitha, and Courtney, where we watch the foreign film Life is Beautiful.
Life is Beautiful is an Italian film which entails both tragic and comic forms. A Jewish waiter by the name of Guido falls in love with a lovely teacher by the name of Dora and marries her. Eventually, they have a son and they name him Giussi. This movie shows the society of Italy up to and during World War II. Throughout the movie, Guido protects his son. The film Life is Beautiful delivers the Italian culture from the era of the 1930s. Firstly, the Italian culture emphasizes greatly on the value of family and relationships. In the film, it shows how much a father cared for his family. Guido and his son had a bond which is full of love, protection, and admiration. At the end of the movie, Guido sacrifices his life for his son. The second segment of the Italian culture is the social classes. In Italy during the 1930s, there were two social classes, the poor and the more prosperous. Guido and his family were Jews, but his wife Dora came from a prosperous Italian family. Thirdly, the movie allowed viewers to be exposed to the hard time Jews faced after World War I. Guido, his son, and his uncle were all Jews. During the Holocaust, which was during World War II, all Jews were taken and brought to a concentration camp. This film showed how Jews had to work very hard and try to survive. It also showed how the Holocaust was put to an end. Guido had to protect his son throughout the period they were at the concentration camp. He used imagination and humor to allow his son to be happy during that time. Finally, a great cultural element in Italy are the great structures and arts. This film shows viewers several structures that are shown in numerous ways, as well as the beauty of musical performances in Italy. Here is a video which has one of the scenes from Life is Beautiful, which shows you the structural buildings.
Ferruccio, le chiavi di casa ce l'ha lui, porca miseria, l'ha prese lui. Ma un fil di ferro, se trovo un fil di ferro là, proprio, sì, eccolo qua. Sono un mago col fil di ferro, me l'ha insegnato il mio babbo, mi ci facevo tutti i giocattoli da piccini col fil di ferro. Ecco, uno, due, eccola qui. Che fai passare della mamma?
Avevo perso il carro ormai.
Vabbè, dai, lo ritroviamo. Andiamo, non se lo fa. Dove l'hai lasciato il carro armato?
È lì sulle scale.
Lo prendo io, su. Tieni la bicicletta allora. Lo prendo io il carro armato. Dico, questo carro armato. Tieni, eccolo qua. Andiamo, Oh, e vai!
Dai, babbo! Piano, piano! Ma siete tutti e due,
Ma
piano!
andate a scuola, vai! Oh, c'è un cavallo! C'è un cavallo, c'è due cavalli!
C'è un cavallo! Guido, smettila con questo campanello!
Over the years, these delivery methods have evolved through new technologies. Today, for instance, there are a lot of documentaries on YouTube, Google, and other web portals that allow individuals to learn and gain knowledge about Italy's culture and the struggles Jews went through during World War II. These documentaries are filmed by everyday cameras involving voices, pictures, and even live interviews of those with an Italian background or heritage. In addition, there are cartoons, for example Dora and Sagwa the Chinese Siamese cat, and children television shows which are created with cultural background, allowing children to learn at an early age and understand the culture and heritage in other parts of the world.
How technology provides different cultural perspectives. The main character and his son have very different perspectives as Jews in the concentration camps during World War II. For Guido, it was a forced labor camp where he was exposed to extreme racism and anti-Semitism all around him. Even though he had a positive attitude despite his circumstances, being a prisoner in the Second World War in a concentration camp, his upbeat personality and theme of love for life are universal in all cultures and can be understood even in this very unusual portrayal of the Second World War concentration camps. As the main character, Guido is the provider of fantasies for his son. Now, through the special effects of movie editing, they were able to present both how the experience of this movie can be seen from the son's perspective as well as the father's perspective. For example, the father presented to his son that they were going on a special vacation and that it was all a big game. He protected his son from a lot of the racism through his fantasies, as well as the different language barriers between the German and Italian children prevented a lot of the racism from being evident from such a young age, and thereby hiding it from his son. His son was very unhappy throughout the movie, but he was very well loved by his father, and that kept him going. And his childhood innocence and his helplessness are universal in all cultures when it comes to children, and it instills even more of a deeper sense of what this movie felt like to have had to go through, and to have such different perspectives on the same events portrayed in the movie. The fantasies provided by his father protected his son from the atrocities of the Second World War. Now, how technology portrays racism. At first, Guido, with his positive attitude, interprets a painted horse as a prank, not as the serious anti-Semitic message that it was intended as. Later on, Guido is forced to take a packed train to a concentration camp with his family, and he tells his son that he got the very last tickets for the train, and people are lining up. People always stand on the train, you sit on buses, but not on trains. So Guido is able to protect his son from some of the horrors that he would have otherwise been exposed to. Guido is caught melting anvils by his son, but he tells his son that they're making a tank for the first prize for the game they're in. The forced labor camps were not easy, obviously, and to be able to hide this from his son makes this even more of an extravagant movie, and so well done. So when the war is over and the son and the mother reunite, the son thinks he won the game because he was told by his father the whole time, they're all looking for you, we're in first place. All you have to do is wait for everyone to go away and you'll win the tank. And at the end of the movie, a tank came and picked him up. Now, technology was able to portray all this through the wonders of movie magic, through editing, through video and sound, as well as very well portrayed acting by the actors in the movie. They make you feel like even though you're there, you're not really there. And that was kind of part of the intention of the movie.
After watching Life is Beautiful, it is evident that there are existing problems in regards to the foreign films. Although the film is released in 1997, the quality of the film is time-worn. Another issue with foreign films is seeing how crucial subtitles may be. In some instances, films may be produced in different languages. Therefore, in order to understand the movie, English subtitles are necessary. Adding these subtitles help illustrate the language and culture of the film. Hence, the use of technology is essential for the production of well-done films. However, the use of subtitles can take away from the visual perspective of the film, as most viewers would agree that in order to enjoy the movie there should be audio. rather than focusing on reading the subtitles. And finally, it is difficult to connect to the movie and characters. How does technology portray culture? World War II was part of Italy's culture, and also the Jews were suffered during that time. And creating a comedic aspect throughout the film about the culture and history is the problem with the film is that the Holocaust was portrayed to be funny in the plot of the movie, making the Holocaust look like a comical event. Solutions to our problems. The first one, access to more modern technology. Modern technology provides viewers with the option of selecting the language one wishes to watch the movie. Having the access to more modern technology produces not only a higher quality film, but also makes the production easier through the various means of technology. The second solution, adding subtitles. Having options between languages as well as using subtitles allow viewers to connect with the film and the story, all while having the benefit of learning through the foreign film. The third solution, language options. Language differences impair cultural transmission in foreign films. This can be fixed by developing a universal translator from speech recognition software that can display it in a text at the bottom of the screen. In addition, a more developed software would be able to take the degree of emotional emphasis and interpret and express this using another language, or rather voice actors can be hired to do voiceovers. As well as having the films come with the option of an extra audio track that can be changed with just the push of a button. The final solution is being more consciousness to other people's culture and to the history of damaging events. Making a comedy about the Holocaust was bad enough, but even more seriously, what many of the critics could not swallow was the manner in which he chose to portray what is probably the most emotionally charged historical event of the 20s. Not only did he make a comedy out of a tragic event, but he also sanitized and prettified the concentration camp and the Nazis, instead of dwelling on the documented horrors that may, if not most, people are familiar with.
Specific contributions Life is Beautiful has to the local communities and Canadian society is that it allows Canadians to experience how Italians viewed the Holocaust, therefore connecting us to the history that took place outside of our country. Viewing the atrocities through the lens of the Italians shows Canadians what it was like in those times and how difficult and challenging life was. Therefore, the film evidently aimed at connecting us through the historical background. This movie also specifically enhanced our knowledge of the Italian culture and heritage. It showed not only the beautiful language, but also allowed us to enjoy the traditional Italian music throughout the different scenes, pictures that depict the culture, and as the movie was set in the 1930s, it portrayed how individuals in that time would dress and speak to one another. This movie allows individuals around the world to connect on a more advanced level, as not everyone is willing to watch a movie filmed in a different language. Therefore, having this option really develops the association culture has on a Canadian society. Living in such a multicultural society, we are faced with many interactions with different people. Some might portray views of discrimination, racism, and prejudice. However, the film depicts the characters as having such a positive attitude even in the face of discrimination or tragedies. Therefore, altering the audience's perceptions of the world as a Canadian, we are surrounded by many cultures, and we must be considerate to the traditions, values, and norms of these cultures, therefore creating a more positive environment amongst our society. Thank you for watching our presentation, and we hope you enjoyed it.